Thank you very much. Excellencies, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking today on behalf of Conservation International, the Worldwide Fund for Nature, BirdLife International, Traffic, Campaign for Nature, the Nature Conservancy, and Client Earth. With less than 6 years to meet the targets set out by the Global Biodiversity Framework, we need to work together to accelerate action. Our current collective efforts as a global community fall far short of what is needed. The basis for this course correction needs to be ambitious, revised MBSAPs and strong accountability mechanisms. We urge parties to conclude the MBSAP revision process as soon as possible and no later than by the end of 2025. We see 5 key challenges to implementation. Number 1, inclusion. As we scale up conservation action, it is essential to implement inclusive conservation and human rights-based approaches across all our initiatives. Collaboration with indigenous peoples, local communities, and other rights holders, while strengthening their rights and leadership, is key. Number 2, mainstreaming. The biodiversity crisis needs to be addressed by all sectors that drive biodiversity loss. Where the footprint is, action must follow through policies that support the transformation of these sectors. Number 3, harmonization. We must finally align the climate and nature agendas, or we will fail to achieve both. This means bringing the MBSAP's revision and the NDC enhancement closer together, enhancing collaboration between the climate and biodiversity conventions, and more funding for actions that address both crises jointly. Number 4, resources. Increased funding for biodiversity conservation, including for indigenous peoples and local communities, needs to go hand in hand with the alignment of financial flows and removing harmful incentives. Resource commitments made in Montreal need to be honored, including the target of $20 billion annually from developed to developing countries by 2025. We call on all parties at CBD COP16 to find a way forward to overcome the divergent views on how to move the resource mobilization discussions forward. We also expect an ambitious agreement on digital sequence information from genetic resources to ensure that those who benefit from using nature contribute to its conservation. And finally, number 5, elevating nature. To halt and reverse biodiversity loss by 2030, nature needs to be at the highest level of political attention. Only then can the necessary transformational change happen at the scale and speed that's required. We are all committed to working with you all and other stakeholders to overcome these challenges. Thank you very much.